Welcome to Made in Walker, the podcast that connects you to the people, the stories, and the ideas shaping our community. From local innovators to everyday change makers, we're diving deep into what makes Walker a great place to live, work, and grow. Here's your host, Nicole DiDonato.
October 2025 marks 14 years since the Walker Police Department and the community as a whole lost Officer Trevor Slot in the line of duty. And since then, there's been a lot of new faces at the Walker Police Department. But Captain Brandyn Heugel and Sergeant Robin Malley make sure to carry on Trevor's legacy. Thank you both so much for being here. You're welcome. Mm-hmm. And for those of us who did not have the pleasure of knowing Trevor, what can you tell us about your friend, the man behind the badge?
Oh, goodness.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many stories we could tell about Trevor. As it relates to work, it was never a dull moment when he was working. We had so much fun. And this job sometimes isn't fun. It can be hard. It can be emotional. But when we were doing it together, we could always debrief afterwards. We could always relax watching one of our favorite shows on our break. And we were never short on laughs, that's for sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you said this, obviously this career can be very heavy. What was his approach to policing? What were some of the, the qualities that he possessed? Yeah.
Be on a first name basis with people.
Yeah.
He just, I think coming from Lowell and St. Joe before then, he wasn't used to going call to call. So he had that time to connect with everybody in the community, whether it was a neighborhood or business owners. And so people knew him as Trevor. You rarely heard Officer Slot. And then he knew their names. So it was, it was pretty interesting. He slid right into Walker and you thought he worked there a decade.
Sure.
So.
Yes. And you were mentioning, obviously, you've been at the department and he joined you guys. What was his first few, days, weeks, months like getting used to a place like Walker?
It was almost seamless because back when he came to our department, we actually dispatched in the evening for Lowell.
Okay.
And Sergeant Malley and I were both wonderful dispatchers in the day when we were part-time. So we already knew his voice. We knew his number. We knew a little bit about his personality. We had talked to him on the phone. He had interacted with so many of our officers who worked dispatch. So it was actually pretty seamless. And I was here several years before he started, and I don't remember a time when he wasn't there.
Wow.
So
it just fit in so well.
It didn't seem like a transition. He fit in well. Trevor had this amazing ability. Everybody thought they were his best friend. Yeah. You'll hear many people talk about that. It's because he just made you feel special. He had those personal connections with not only the officers, but like Sergeant Malley said, with the community. Yeah. Everyone just felt close to him instantly.
Yeah, and his daughters were born while he was at the Walker Police Department, and you were kind of bringing up some stories of during that time when he was off during the birth of his daughters. What was that like?
Yes, he was off for the birth of his first daughter, and you go into a gas station, and one of them has a gift for the baby. So you know that they not only spoke in passing if he was in there to get something to drink or a snack to eat, but he actually opened up about his personal life with people that he connected with.
Yeah. And even nowadays, that is so important with policing, just, being able to relate the relationships. It's really all about that, isn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, there are, a percentage of people that we deal with on a regular basis. There are other residents that we may just wave at, through our career. So you have some frequent flyers, whatever case that may be of why you deal with them. But I do remember a particular frequent flyer. He was never, assaulting people or taking advantage, but he was a troublemaker. And I recall being on vacation, coming back, and Trevor saying, "Hey, next time you deal with so-and-so, give him a break," because he gave me some good information that solved a pretty serious case. And it didn't take too long before I had dealt with him again. And I said, "Hey, Trevor said you gave him a solid, so I'm going to, give a solid back." And, you fast forward 5-6 years later after he was killed, that particular person waved me down when I was driving by, and I pulled up and he said, "Hey, I just want to let you guys know that I'm sorry for your loss and that Trevor never treated me like a common criminal.
Yeah.
He treated me like a human being." So, that's one case out of many. So
That is so powerful to hear. And,
Yeah.
I know it's tough to talk about. How did his passing affect you all? It's unimaginable.
Ooh.
still dealing with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Grief doesn't stop. It changes. It comes in waves. But back then, that day, it hit you like a ton of bricks, and everything in the world just slowed down, but went so fast at the same time. It was very surreal, honestly, even to look back at it. Here we are, what did you just say, 14 years later. I can't believe it's been 14 years, but then again, it seems like a lifetime.
Yeah.
And like it hits you in waves. October is a horrible month for me.
Mm-hmm. Are there still parts of him that, yeah.
I'm not going to.
We won't
Right.
look at each other.
Yeah.
No, we won't make
Yeah, I've never been shy about hiding my emotions, but with the grief and the sadness, there's been so much joy since. And I had the wonderful opportunity of being friends with Kim. And the moments I had with her, she taught me so much. I can't even tell you how amazing she was.
Yeah, and that was Trevor's wife.
Yes. And she just had this perspective. One night we were going to a concert together, and it was a last minute thing.
Yeah.
Literally, I called her an hour before the concert and she went. And we were sitting in my car in the parking ramp, and she said, "You know what? We wouldn't be here right now if Trevor hadn't have been killed. So I take these moments that I never would have had, and I just live them to the fullest, because I can't change what happened, but I can change what I do now.
Yeah.
And I can enjoy these experiences." And honestly, we had a blast. And anytime things got tough for me, all I had to do was think of her, because if it was tough for me, I can't even imagine what it was like for her. And her perspective and her helping me heal was something I could never thank her for.
And that's why you all are so passionate, especially with these newer officers that come in year after year, of keeping your friend's legacy alive. And how were you able to do that all this time? What are some of the specific things you've done to make sure that happens?
Well, I mean, I think so many of us are storytellers, and we have a lot of stories because of what we experience. So, and he created a lot of stories. So even 14 years later, I still talk about him often. And, we're fortunate to have a memorial that we set up. We have a little slogan on one of our cars that is a reminder. And, we did compile, came to realize all the correspondence back when that occurred, they were just sitting in totes back off in a closet. And we thought about, why don't we put that together, in not any particular order, but the nice letterhead that was sent from around the country, whether it was a government agency, a local police department, state police, you know, fire departments, just whatever. And just to put it together, mainly for the family, but also for the department and for posterity. We have 75% of the people that we work with now never worked with Trevor.
Right.
I mean, we're changing. Every police department's changing, over. But it's pretty wild.
Yes.
But 14 years goes pretty quick.
It does. And there's a lot of change. And our officers, when they walk into briefing, they walk past a photo of him and a wooden sign that says, "In valor there is hope," that was made by one of our retirees. So everybody really came together to put something in the department that just shows a little bit about him and is a constant reminder. Part of our field training program is going through that history and what happened. So every new person in our department knows a little bit about him, and I don't think that there's many weeks that go by where his name doesn't just come up, whether we're telling a story or we're remembering or we're planning to go to a graduation ceremony for one of his daughters. There's always something. He's still very much a part of our organization.
Trevor's daughters, Caitlin and Abby, were just 6 and 8 years old at the time he passed away, but they have since gone on to be beautiful young women, graduating from the same school their father did and their mother had taught as well. And we're honored to have Caitlin here joining us as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We've heard a lot about the man behind the badge. What can you tell us just about Dad?
Yeah. I was so young. There's not much I remember, but I just always remember, having so much fun with him. He was just funny and loud, and we would just listen to music with him. He would tell jokes. He would play with Barbies with me, Polly Pockets. And, my favorite memory with him is I really liked McDonald's, but my sister really liked Wendy's. So anytime we would get fast food, we would go to both places. And he was happy to get McDonald's.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yes, he was.
And just growing up with the police department support by your side, how has that been? Developing deeper relationships with Brandyn and the crew.
It's been so amazing just to have that support. Just phenomenal. I don't know where I would be without it. And Brandyn and Robin, they're amazing, and I'm very thankful for them.
Going through some of the the milestones, just having that extra presence with you. How does that make you feel?
Amazing. It just makes me feel so loved and seen, and I wouldn't want to go through any of that without them.
One of my favorite moments was Caitlin didn't necessarily know we were coming to her graduation, and there was a group of us. So her class was all gathered in a gym below the auditorium where the graduation was happening. So I snuck down there and talked to the first person in line. I'm like, "I need Caitlin Slot." So word got back to her, and she started coming up towards me. And the genuine surprise on her face, we weren't going to be there. But, and she just gave me the biggest hug. And I'm like, "Of course we're here."
Yes. There's a lifelong bond that you guys now have.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely. I heard all the stories about Caitlin when she was a baby and about Abby when she was a baby and little. And I heard the Polly Pockets, and I knew he was an active dad. They always went to cottage and out on the lake and swimming and all of that. That was Trevor's life.
yes.
And so I heard so much about it that it was really easy just to pick up, and you already had love for these girls. And then it just became that much stronger, just knowing what they had lost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're moving on to an exciting new step, recently being engaged, and how do you kind of take the spirits of your mother and father along with you, and what will that look like going forward?
It's hard, not having them there. But it's a good reminder through the police department and just all the support we have, having them there and sharing this moment with them and doing little things for that day to honor them. And it's special.
Yes. Yeah. Well, we really appreciate you sharing such wonderful memories of your father. We know we've heard it throughout the years, but it's wonderful to see you grown up and you resembling Brandyn so much like her mom and dad, right?
Yes.
So,
She looked like her dad so much when she was young.
yeah.
Now more like her mom. And every time I see Abby, I see Trevor. Gosh, and if she has a book in her hand, I really have to just shake my head because, they didn't have that many years with him. But dang, do they carry on his legacy. It's pretty cool to see.
They certainly do.
Yeah.
Your father made such an impact beyond West Michigan, and everyone is behind with you, supporting you. So.
She had an amazing family that really stepped in and kept it real with her. Yeah. And she kept it real with them too.
Yeah.
There were times when she would still be fighting with grandma and grandpa who were raising her. And she'd say, I'm going to call Brandyn. And so she would think that Brandyn was going to get her out of trouble with grandma or something. And I'm like, yeah, you call me. We'll talk. But I just loved that she was still a little high-spirited young girl.
Yeah.
That's what she was supposed to be. It didn't change how she was supposed to be. She was still sassy, and I love it.
Kind of get a bonus daughter now, a couple bonus daughters to watch throughout the rest of their.
We all just think of them as family, and like I said, they know she can text me anytime if she needs something, and I'll be there. Yeah, she has a wonderful family support system, so she doesn't really need me, but she knows I'm there if she does need something.
It's been such an honor getting to know you, Caitlin, and hearing more of Trevor's stories and how his legacy will live on for all of us. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of the Made in Walker podcast. If you have comments or questions about this podcast, or if you have suggestions for future episodes, we'd love to hear from you. Please drop us an email at podcast@walker.city. Made in Walker is the official podcast of the city of Walker, Michigan. You can find Made in Walker wherever you get your podcasts.